Gisingin na ang diwa, salubungin ang umaga. Handa ka na ba? Masdan mo ang daluyong, umaagos ang pagtulong sa kapwa. Sa kapwa, may sinag sa iyong puso na hindi na maitatago. Ang silong mo'y lisanin na. Liwanag mo'y sisigla kung tayo'y magsasama-sama sa lupa nating naghihingalo. Tayo ang pagbabago, sabay nating suyuin. Mailap na pagkakaisa sa pagsikat ng bagong araw. Buong pusong isigaw na tayo ang pagbabago. Yakapin ang pagkakaiba. Liwanag mo'y sisigla kung tayo'y magsasama-sama sa lupa nating naghihingalo. Tayo ang pagbabago, sabay nating suyuin. Mainap na pagkakaisa sa pagsikat ng bagong araw. Buong pusong isigaw na tayo ang pagbabago, sabay nating suyuin. Mainap na pagkakaisa sa pagsikat ng bagong araw. Buong pusong isigaw na tayo ang pagbabago. Tayo ang pagbabago. Liwanag natin iisa, kaya tayo nang magsama-sama sa lupa nating naghihingalo. Tayo ang pagbabago, sabay nating suyuin. Mailap na pagkakaisa sa pagsikat ng bagong araw. Buong pusong isigaw na tayo ang pagbabago, sabay nating suyuin. Mailap na pagkakaisa sa pagsikat ng bagong araw. Buong pusong isigaw na tayo ang pagbabago. Bago. Tayo ang pagbabago. Gisingin na.
Filipino youth, are you ready? Learn, upskill, and build better this 2021 with Padayon, Tayo and YSEALI Youth Organizational Development Program. In the mission for Filipino youth development, the 10 Accomplished Youth Organizations Awards Foundation and the U.S. Embassy in the Philippines bring you a series of capacity-building activities to improve organizational leadership skills of youth groups from across the country through 4 pillars of engagement. These are Tayo Talks, workshops, mentorship sessions, and the exclusive Padayon Masterclass. Learn from domain experts, hear from thought leaders, and interact with fellow young advocates through gamified and unconference experiences. Padayon tayo!
Hello everyone! Good evening! Welcome to our pangilan na ba nating episode? But this is our second episode for Tayo Talks. Meet our national finalists tonight. We will meet another 6 of our national finalists for the 19th Search for 10 Accomplished Youth Organizations Awards. We're really excited for everyone to meet this new batch of 6. Last week, we met 6 others, and now we're meeting a fresh batch of 6 national finalists for the Search for Tayo 19. We're doing this because not only do we want to share the good vibes that we've been having, knowing the stories of these youth organizations since July, but we also want you to get to know these youth organizations and hopefully be part of what they're doing, support what they're doing, or even make your own initiatives and advocacies in whatever platform that you would want. All right. Siguro hindi ko napapahabain pa ang gabing ito. Medyo madami kami sa tawag na to, so medyo hindi kami aalog-alog. There are 6 national finalists joining us tonight, and I know their energy is steaming and sobrang sumasabog yung energy. I know it's a Friday night, so please chill with us. This would be quite a casual conversation. Walang scoring dito, guys. Walang pitching, whatever. Just wholehearted casual stories from youth organizations, youth volunteers all across the Philippines. All right, let's start. I'll first, mag-roll call tayo. Parang graduation. Charing. But let's first start from napakalayo. Metro Manila. Charing, lapit lang pala. From Metro Manila, the representative of Innovations for Community Health, Nicole. Hi, Nicole!
Hi, good evening.
Yan. Good evening, Nicole. Diba? Parang ang layo. Parang alam ko, sobra daw yung traffic dyan.
Sorry, natuwa ako. First time ako matawag una kasi last name ko Yu eh. So, lagi akong huli.
Right, diba? Parang medyo laging huli. Sige, let's mix it up a bit tonight. So, babalik tayo sa medyo unahan po ng ating listahan kapag attendance at sino pa ba ang mga nagpapa-attendance? Diba? Mga guro, mga teachers. So, from the Western Visayas, from Aklan, from Makakaya organization, Gia. Hi, Gia!
Hi, Gia! Hello. Magandang pasala.
Yan, good evening, Gia. O tapos, medyo balik tayo sa lugar ng traffic. Round trip lang kasi. So, from Metro Manila, lipad ka to Aklan. Tapos, round trip lang. Let's go to the representative of Project Smile and Therawi, Sam. Hi, Sam!
Hello, good evening. Thank you again for having me.
Sure. Yan, mga kapitbahay natin in Metro Manila. Yan, at medyo lalayo tayo ulit. Malayo, pero feeling ko he's based somewhere near. Pero the organization that he's trying to represent is really mga siguro 2-hour flight away. Ang Reyna ng Gabi. Hamilcar. Hello, Ham. Hi, good evening, Ham.
Hi, Trish. Hello, maayong gabi sa inyong tanan.
Oh, 'di ba? The real queen representing Mindanao Pride. At hindi magpapahuli, ang isa pa nating representative from Light of Hope Philippines, Kenneth. Kenneth! Ay, sorry, Light of Hope. Hope Builders Organization, Trisha. Pinagbuhol-buhol mo na. Ayan. Hi, Kenneth!
Good evening. Thank you, Trish.
Diba, ako pa nagkamali, girl. Sorry. Super sorry, Kenneth. At ito pa, sabi ko sa inyo, puno talaga tayo tonight. Hindi ko din alam kung paano kayo ipapacilitate. Kasi, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kayo. So, parang ang dami, diba? Parang, ito yung level na pag magchichikahan kayo over dinner, nahahati sa gitna yung table. Kasi, tas yung may isa lang na nakikinig on both. Feeling ko ako yon. Ito na, our last national finalist joining us tonight, John Mauro Manuel. Hi, John Mauro. JM.
Yes, hi Trish. Na-invite
Hi,
na PEU
JM.
amin. Hello guys, good evening.
Yan, JM is representing his
I see.
organization, I Saved. Yan, perfect. So we're quite complete in our call for tonight. Again, for everyone who's watching, just a reminder, this is just 6 of our 20 national finalists for Search for Tayo 19. Okay. Bilang medyo nagkalat na ako in the beginning of this call. Susundan ko na ulit ng hugot question. Okay lang ba tayong humugot? Friday naman, guys. So, para diretso ng weekend feeling, right? Kasi hopefully after this, mag-sign off na kayo and from work. Alam ko si Ham, feeling ko busy-busy yan. Pero, Ham, weekend rin. Okay. Our first question for tonight. Bilang ang theme ng Tayo 19 is aahon tayo. Para kanino ka umaahon? Oh, parang Miss Universe question. So our first question is, para kanino ka umaahon? So, bubunot ako sa natin, virtual tambiolo. Ang mauuna sa ating recitation, Mr. Kenneth Bacala of Hope Builders Organization. Please, para kanino ka umaahon?
Okay, good evening ulit sa lahat. So, yung tanong na parang kanino ka umaahon is yung sa isip ko, yung dumating is yung kape para kanino ka bumabangon. So, ako, umaahon ako para sa, alam mo yung mga paperwork sa ngayon, mga modules namin sa ngayon, ang daming-dami.
Wow!
So, ngayon, kasi dahil printed modality yung gamit namin, medyo napakatambak na mga modules. Yun nga, tinatry pa rin tawag dyan? Itatry pa rin namin umahon sa tambak ng mga modules. So, yun yung hugot namin sa ngayon.
Parang feeling ko, may isa pang umaahon sa mga ACAD work, sa requirements sa school. Feeling ko parang pangalan niya Gia. Gia! Para kanino ka umaahon?
Hello
Same ba kayo
po.
ng hugot ni Kenneth?
Siguro parang pareho din natin, Trish. Umaahon din tayo para sa mga modules ng mga anak natin, syempre. And syempre, umaahon tayo, syempre, para sa bawat kabataang may kapansanan natin.
Okay po, sorry guys. Sorry for the other 4 candidates, pero may nanalo na po. Umaahon siya para sa kabataan. I think that's it. Thank you for joining us in our Tayo Talks. Parang pang-ending statement agad yung kay Gia. But thank you, Gia. Parang umpisa pa lang, na-inspire na ako agad. Thank you, Gia. Ito, alam ko, may hugot naman to bilang we're right in the middle of the pandemic extended version. Ito, feeling ko, we have to who have unique hugots kung para kanino sila bumabangon, especially under their advocacies. Unahin na natin si Sam. Sam, para kanino ka umaahon?
Ako, umaahon ako para sa kinabukasan. In a sense that I remain hopeful despite the situation that we are in. So it's not necessarily just a group of people or a cause, but more of like an optimistic outlook of the future. So yun yung reason ko kung bakit ako umaahon. And thank you, Char.
Love it. Feeling ko, magka-groupmate si Gia tsaka si Sam. Hindi ako aware.
Teamwork.
Thank you, Sam. Feeling ko parang sila. They are in the middle of essay writing sa mga assignment. Parang feeling ko, sabi ko talaga yung first question ko to break the ice. Pero ako pala yung na-break kasi inspiring agad yung mga sagot ninyo sa ating question. Okay, ipapasa na natin ang ating virtual tambiolo to another health advocate, Nicole. Nicole, para kanino ka umaahon?
Hello, napakahirap sundan ng mga sagot nila. Kaloka. Na-stress ako slight. But, sobrang corny. But I think pwede naman yung corny sagot. I think bumabangon ako para sa bansa natin. Because actually kanina, I was at I was watching a video about history siya kasi di ba malapit na Bonifacio Day. So parang naalala ko lang, na-remind lang ako kung gaano ko kamahal yung bansang to. Kaya rin, yung ICH actually, one of the core values namin, nation building. So parang close to our hearts talaga. So yeah, para sa mga Pilipinong may tuberculosis na sana mabigyan namin ng gamot at serbisyo. Yun lang.
Nice. Sabi ko na nga, be, parang feeling ko wala talaga akong lusot. Kasi all our national finalists are equally amazing in heart, in passion, in mission. So talagang guys, sorry na lang, on a Friday night, if you're looking for chika, this might not be the best live stream for you. Please visit our post-event na lang for other chika. Joke lang. But, ito, bago tayo dumating sa tunay na reyna ng gabi, punta muna tayo sa ating kaibigan JM. JM, ikaw. Para kanina umaahon.
Ayan, kanina nag-smile na lang ako kasi parang yun na lang yung gusto kong pakinggan na lang. Pero sa amin, ako umaahon ako for the org, for the ICU. Kasi of course yung mga pinagdaanan natin ng pandemic, napakahirap. So pati din kami, yung mobilization, yung selling namin, kaya nagkaroon kami online selling ganun. So basically, umaahon kami for the org para at least matugunan namin yung pangangailangan pa ng beneficiaries. So that's it.
So sana naman, sa dami ng nagchat-chat ng Go iSave, naramdaman nyo na umaahon si JM every day for you guys. So, pa-shout out naman
Yes,
po
andyan
dyan.
sila eh. Ayan, thank you so much guys, mga scholars.
Daming daming
scholars sa mga yan eh.
supporters. Love it.
Hello guys.
Oo nga, sabi,
Kamusta kayo dyan?
Go
Thank you
iSave,
sa
go Sir Mauro. Oh, pak, laban. Thank you,
Thank you. Alam mo,
JM.
thank you so much, Ma'am Trish.
Nakakatuwa na, 'di ba, from umaahon para sa mga estudyante, para sa mga anak, to helping Filipino youth, to helping the nation. Ito, si JM, bumalik rin sa puso. Umaahon para sa org na that's the heart of what we do in Tayo. Ito na. Feeling ko, ito yung medyo kapuso ko at this time. Alam ko, busy ang taong ito, lalo na't magpapasko na, guys. Ham, as the representative of the most colorful, vibrant community, para kanino ka umaahon?
Ako, Trish, umaahon ako para sa jowa ko. Charot lang.
Ang saya!
Charot lang, oo naman. Siyempre, huwag masyado, napaka-sir, chikahan to, di ba? Charot lang. Anyway, sige, serious tayo, no? Ako, umaahon ako para sa isang napakakulay na komunidad, ang LGBT community, ang sangkabaklaan, sangkabayutan, particularly, no, ng mga LGBT sa Mindanao. Ayun. At currently, Trisha, syempre, umaahon tayo para sa isang kulay rosas na kinabukasan. Ayun, alam mo yan.
Wow! Ang ganda naman ng color na yon. Sinasabi ko lang. Pero, diba, like, it's not from students to us, to you guys, si Kenneth at si Gia being teachers, to Sam and Nicole advocating for public health and access to these health resources, to JM being a real kuya in his organization, and Ham also representing a vibrant, growing LGBTQIA community, not just in Mindanao but in the Philippines. Sobrang nakakatuwang umahon. At this time, guys, napa-throwback ako a few days ago because this is our second national finals that were not face-to-face. Like, alam mo yon, yung parang magkakasama tayong kakabahan, magkakasama tayong i-cheer ang isa't isa. Tapos parang I was with some Tayo 18 alumni. They were all wondering, "Hoy, Trisha, pwede na ba kaming sumama sa awarding ng Tayo 19?" Tapos parang ko, guys, wait lang. Sila din virtual. Sama-sama tayo lahat sa Zoom. Pwede naman. But that's why we thought of that theme in our office for Tayo 19. We hope to bring that call for hope, that promise na tunay na aahon tayo with the rest of the Philippines, not just youth organizations, our projects, our communities, but lahat tayo aahon. Hopefully, sooner rather than later. Okay. Sobra naman makahugot yung mga kasama ko. Parang ako, I'm on a Friday mood. Tapos lahat sila parang serious. So, okay, I'll go serious. I've been talking about you and your advocacies and your communities, but most of our listeners or watchers, whichever how they want to watch and support us tonight, may not be quite familiar on who you are, what your organization, and what you do. And so for the next few minutes, I'm giving you the floor to please introduce your organization and tell us about your project. And hopefully, I know na guys, nobela. Alam ko, nobela ang mga kwento ninyo. But please, let's try to keep it short. Para naman, teaser, kumbaga, ang ating mga ikikwento. That hopefully, in the next few questions that we also have, we'll try to uncover more stories. Okay, umpisahan natin. So, other loop naman. Ham, can you tell us about who you are as an organization in Mindanao Pride and what you do?
Okay, ayan. Sisimulan ko siguro sa very short na kwento, no? Ayan, ako ay pinanganak, no, sa Cagayan de Oro, isang komunidad which is in a way considered as a melting pot of cultures because there are indigenous cultures, no, indigenous peoples in the north, in the highlands of Bukidnon, and in the southern part, no, yung ating mga religious minorities, yung mga Muslim communities natin sa Mindanao. And thus, I guess this is the reason why I developed a certain parang positive attitude or tolerance with different cultures and different attitudes, no? And I believe the reason why Mindanao Pride was organized is because of this diversity, no? That despite of this diversity, merong nahuhulog na mga identity or nakakalimutan na mga identity when we talk about mga karapatang pantao or human rights. And one of them are the rights of the LGBT community. Ayon. So, yung Mindanao Pride is an LGBTQIA+ organization that advocates for the human rights and the welfare of LGBTIQ community in Mindanao, particularly in our issues that is drowning on armed conflict, on indigenous and religious and cultural conflict. And thus, laging nababrand yung Mindanao as something that is a conflict area, no? However, hindi rin na-highlight yung beauty of Mindanao. And that is one of the reason why we implemented or crafted the campaign called #Kultura sa Gugma, or in English, Culture of Love. We would want to reclaim that culture, no, of Mindanaoan peace-loving people, grounded on love, on empathy, and acceptance. Because we wouldn't want Mindanao to be branded as something that is difficult na area, conflict or war-torn community, no? Dapat tinitignan din natin yung beautiful side of Mindanao. And that is also the beautiful people of the LGBT community. Ayun. Maraming salamat, Trisha.
Grabe naman yung hugot na yun. From love to peace to actually community building built on peace. Thank you for that, Ham. Ito, ipapasa natin ang corona at ang mic kay JM. JM, yan. Please introduce your org and your project.
Hello, yan. Napakasarap pakinggan kanina yung pagpapakilala ni Ham sa kanyang organization. So kami naman dito sa May Tugigaraw sa Cagayan Valley, napakasarap din na balikan yung ating karanasan bilang isang bata na walang-wala noon. So ako kasi, panganay ako sa anim na magkakapatid. So isa din akong guro, Ham. And yan, so alam natin, no, bilang isang guro, lagi na tayong nakakarinig ng, Sir, absent muna kami ngayon. Sir, hindi namin magagawa yung module. Sir, punta kami sa bukid. Lagi yan. So sabi namin, anong rason kung bakit palagi itong batang to? Yun yung rason at hindi sila pumapasok, hindi sila nakakagawa ng mga certain activities. So kami, bumisita kami, yung parang ambush na pagbisita sa mga bata. At doon nakita namin yung katotohanan. Katotohanan na ang mga batang to talaga ay nandyan sa bukirin na dapat ay nag-aaral ang kanilang ginagawa. So napaka-inspirational na moment kasi pagbalik nila, no, sa tahanan at exactly 6 o'clock ng gabi nung nag-visit kami. Suot-suot nila yung kanilang mga damit na nasa bukirin na pumunta sa kanilang trabaho na dapat hindi nagtatrabaho ang ginagawa nila. So what we did as an organization is nakipag-usap kami sa mga magulang nila. Doon pumasok yung iSave. Doon pumasok yung, hindi lang pala yung teacher nandito sa classroom na nagtuturo. So kami, outside our teaching capabilities and with the help of other people and with the help of the project Lampa Hope, kasi yun yung nantutusto sa pag-aaral ng mga batang tinutulungan namin ngayon, we were able to provide tuition fees and learning materials to all the beneficiaries free in Cagayan Valley. So as of the moment, yun yung tinututukan namin with of course partner agencies of the IC. We have the Sangguniang Kabataan, we have the University of St. Louis, the UAPSA, who is designing our lamp, and we have generous members of the community na tumutulong sa amin. So doon nagsimula yung aming kwento kung paano nasimula yung ICF dahil ayaw namin na maranasan ng mga batang nakikita namin yung karanasan namin noon bilang isang bata. So naniniwala kami na at the end of the day, hindi na lang kami yung nag-i-save kundi lahat na ay save. Ano pa?
Ang saya. From Ham's story from the South, talagang legit na tumaas tayo, okay, from Mindanao to Cagayan. Especially now, na, di ba, even most recent, last year, at this time also, kayo din yung badly hit ng ilang bagyo for the past several weeks. And not only that, di ba, parang, even for me, honestly, as someone from Metro Manila, I rarely hear news from Cagayan. Or parang I feeling ko mas detached ako from Northern Luzon. And hearing you guys creating amazing opportunities for young Filipinos to really get the education they want and they need, all by selling lamps. Guys, alam niyo yung legit lampara, yun talaga yung mga ginagawa nila JM. And they provide that using, di ba yung mitsa, di ba, from recycled clothes?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, Trish.
diba?
So, ano ko lang,
Galing.
ito ay DTI registered siya. Hindi namin nagagawa lang as an organization. So, sabi namin, why not come up with yung mga recyclable materials kung saan pwede natin maibenta and dinidesign ng partner org namin, like yung UWAP sa kanila. So, sila yung in charge, like for example, kami sa iSave, kami yung in charge sa manufacturing of the bottles, and then we have the SK for the marketing, and we have the UWAPSA for the designing. So, ganun kaano yung org para at least ma-mobilize namin yung volunteerism talaga ng isa't isa.
Thank you, JM, for sharing your story. Now, medyo bababa na ulit tayo ng konti sa Metro Manila. Nicole, if you could share what you do in Innovations for Community Health and who you are as a team and what you do in your organization.
Sure. So, Innovations for Community Health, so that's the name of our organization. We like to call ourselves the laboratories of public health leaders kasi puro mga newbies din sa public health na hoping to make an impact in our community. And our project is called Kalinga Health. And it's actually our first project, and yun din yung reason kung ba't kami nag-exist. No? Dahil doon, natayo namin yung Innovations for Community Health. Pabaliktad siya.
Nice.
Yeah, and then Kalinga Health, it's a social enterprise. So from those words, diba, enterprise, we run it like a business. But of course, the profit was for a good cause. Bumabalik lang sa clinic just so continuous yung pagbigay ng services. Kasi the thing with public health is most of the projects, pag may funding, isang bagsakan, after that, wala na. After a few years, pagtapos ng project closing, andun pa rin yung problem. And as mentioned, may problem nga. Doon din kami nagsimula. Kung paano na-start yung Kalinga Health, there was a problem. And that problem is tuberculosis or TB. So di nga ako sure kung sa henerasyon ba natin, alam pa ba natin yung sakit na TB? Although hindi siya ganun hot topic gaya ng ibang infectious disease. Isa siyang malaking problema sa bansa. Like approximately siguro yung most recent, 31,000 annually yung namamatay for TB, pero hindi siya pinag-uusapan. Tapos may pandemya pa. So mas mahirap lalo na yung mga patients kumuha ng services. And usually for tuberculosis kasi, yung services libre pag nasa public health center ka. Lahat, test, gamot. But in reality, yung mga pasyenteng Pilipino, somehow may preference sa private. I'm not sure in this call nga, ilan ba sa atin dito pag may sakit, yung pediatrician ko from 12 years ago. Ganyan yung parang yung iniisip.
Yeah.
Kasi yung tiwala, syempre, na dun sa private doctor, ako, tagal ko sa pediatrician. But the trust is there. Tapos parang may notion na pag sa private ako, high quality. So most Filipinos go to the private sector kahit na sabihin natin hindi naman ganun kalaki yung income ng family. So pagdating doon, ma-realize sila, ay ang mahal pala ng test. So estimate lang 6,000 to 10,000 pag nasa private, yung parang RT-PCR for TB. Tapos yung gamot, you have to take it for at least 6 months and one tablet siguro can cost you 12, 13 pesos and one patient takes average 3 to 5. So yung ending, they don't take medicine na. So, just like any antibiotic, pag sinimulan mo, di mo tinapos, there's a risk of developing drug resistance or hindi na madaling gamutin yung sakit mo. So, yung ending nun, yung mga patients na yun na nag-stop ng medications, they're still in the communities. We don't know where they are. And tinatawag nga silang missing cases. And iniisip lang, one kasi na TB patient can possibly infect 10 other people. So, can you just imagine, parang nawawala sila. So, parang mas na-fuel lalo yung epidemic na to. So, parang epidemic within a pandemic. So,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's what we're trying to solve sa Kalinga Health. Para kaming tulay between the government and the private sector. So, the government gives us their resources. We channel it to the private sector para their patients can get it at low cost or free pa nga medications. Tapos kami, as a social enterprise, we offer different services. Like, hindi siya for TB. The usual lab or clinic na private, siguro, your secondary lab namin pa-open na, yun yung may CBC, the normal things.
Nice.
That you get to a lab. So, yun yung source namin ng sustainability habang kami, yung mga libre, binibigyan namin sa TB patients. So, somehow, it balances out win-win. So, overview, that is Kalinga Health and ICH. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. I could still remember, kasi I validated Nicole's organization during the validation phase. So that was months ago, guys. But what really struck me in what they shared there is that even in the midst of the pandemic, they're also trying to solve another epidemic that is silently possibly killing people, and we don't know where they are and how many they are. And so sobrang nag-strike sa akin yun when they shared it to us. And thank you guys for what you do to solve that. I mean, honestly, for our generation, somehow hindi na siya ganon katingkad. But when I think I tried to talk to that with my mom, and then she said, it's their generation who's much more familiar with it. Pero our generation, not necessarily something we talk about. So thank you, Nicole. Okay, another field of health and public health, access to public health resources is Sam and their team in Project Smile and Therapy. So, hi
Hello.
Sam.
Hello, good evening. Grabe, nakaka-inspire talaga lahat ng kwento ng mga national finalists. So, sobrang thankful kami na umabot kami sa stage na to. So, I am the founder of Project Smile, but the Accessible Assistance Alliance is actually a collaboration between Project Smile and Therapy. So, Therapy naman, isa silang health tech innovation company. So, para din silang social enterprise, similar with dun sa na-share kanina ni Nicole. At kami naman, we are a youth-led non-profit organization. And naisipan namin na magsama talaga kasi aligned kami ng advocacies ng Therapy. So for Project Smile, we have been involved with the PWD community since 2019 pa. So actually, I'm not sure if Trisha can still remember this, pero in 2019, in-enter namin yon yung PWD-friendly tricycle idea namin. Unfortunately, di kami naging mapalad, pero thankfully, umabot nga kami ngayon this year. Tapos, yung Therapy naman, nagpo-provide sila ng, they're composed of, professionals, and they really have the technical background when it comes to supporting children with special needs. So, given na parehas kami ng mission at ang Project Smile talaga, very active kami in helping different marginalized groups here in the country, naisipan namin na magsanib puwersa, kumbaga. At dahil nga naisipan namin yon, malayo yung narating namin in a sense that yung main objective talaga ng Accessible Assistance Alliance ay maghatid ng quality teletherapy services to kids with special needs across the country. So yun lang yung main idea namin. Pero dahil maraming sumuporta dun sa aming advocacy, nakapaghatid na rin kami ng iba't ibang serbisyo tulad ng psychosocial services, yung mga support group na, at bukod sa pagbabago dun talagang sa skills development ng bata, na touch kami lalo na nakita namin yung mga parents na parte ng programa namin, nagiging empowered na sila at nagiging informed na sila kung paano ba nila gagabayan yung mga anak nila. At para sa amin kasi sobrang vital nito kung gusto talaga nating maging inclusive yung komunidad natin dito sa Pilipinas. Dapat yung mga parents mismo, magiging advocate sila ng sarili ng mga anak at dapat palawagin pa natin yung information kumbaga ng other, sectors here in the Philippines about their situations. So, I guess yun yung pretty much like a brief description of our project, and I'm very excited to share more about our work in this talk.
Thank you, Sam. So guys, nakakatuwa kasi from Nicole's story of TB patients, now we're talking about children also. So lang, I guess most of us have tender hearts for kids. So thank you also for what you do, Sam, and for the rest of your team, helping children with disabilities get access to therapy. All right, ito, usapang mga bata. Meron tayong dalawang guro. Kasama si JM. So, si JM dem ay isang guro. Pero itong dalawang last natin na mag-share ng kwento. Unahin ko na yung, hindi siya nalalayo sa kwento nila, Sam. She's also a teacher here in Western Visayas, trying to tackle and to bridge education for children with special needs. Hello, Gia. Please share the story of your organization.
Hello po ulit sa lahat. So, our Makakaya organization po, nagsimula kami with our project Makakaya, which started with Ideas Positive Ranten. And from there, lumaki yung aim namin and yung goal namin to provide and to advocate for inclusive education and for the welfare of every child with special needs. So, with Project Makakaya po, we aim to continuously empower parents, same as with the Project Smile then, to empower parents as they bring education at home, to strengthen family involvement, most especially ngayon na nasa transition yung education natin. And of course, to encourage youths like us then kung paano tayo gagalaw para mas maging inclusive yung community natin, paano natin gagawin na maging welcoming and accepting yung buong komunidad natin for everybody, not just for your children with special needs. And, to share stories of our children and stories of their struggles and successes, yung story na hindi para sila ay ating kawaan, but stories that can serve as inspiration and motivation for us to really push with life despite the situation that we are in, and of course to give hope and inspiration sa lahat na lalo na sa mga magulang na may mga anak na may kapansanan, to really inspire them na to put their kids or children sa school kasi may pag-asa silang matuto, may pag-asa sila na tanggapin ng buong komunidad. And of course, Project Makakaya really aims to intensify programs for learners with special educational needs together with our Department of Education. So yun po yung ginagawa namin with Project Makakaya. Salamat.
Thank you, Gia. Thank you for what you do. I know, parang after meeting Gia's org, grabe, parang karamihan pala dito. Ako yung nag-validate. Share ko lang. SKL. Well, like, after meeting Gia's org also, iba na yung paghanga ko kasi sa mga guro. Lalo na ngayon, guys, na I know we're doing our online stuff also, online meetings, etc. This one, hosting an event. Guys, imagine trying to host children who has short attention spans, tapos iba din yung like what they like. So parang I know the hassle, and so knowing what Gia and their team is doing, sobrang wow. Thank you, Gia. Thank you for trying to strive for better educational access to children with special needs. Ito pa, speaking of guro and speaking of literal na sakripisyo, feeling ko magkakasama talaga kayo nila JM bilang mga guro at mga pangalawang magulang ng ating mga kabataan. Ito, isa pa, si Kenneth. Hi, Kenneth. Please share the story of your organization and what you do.
Hello, good evening. Medyo kinakabahan ako sa signal ko. Anyway, so I'm Kenneth Bacala. I'm the founder of Hope Builders Organization Negros Island at saka founder din ng Pagbasa May Pag-asa sa Pagbasa Project. So, in over 5 years sa pagtuturo sa public school, bago nun, may mga experiences na akong narinig, gaya ng guro ka nga, pero ganito, ganyan. Naranasan ko rin mapagalitan sa harap ng principal, yung pinagalitan ako ng isang nanay, gano'n. And then, senior high school kasi ako tumuturo. Pero yung project is nakabase siya sa elementary. Na yung ginawa ko, nag-start lang siya sa isang pag-uusap kasama yung 16 students ko. At sila yung mga yung students. Then, I was thinking na later on or someday, they will be facing people. They will be facing the community. So, sa pag-uusap na yon, then dun yun na-develop, na-conceptualize si Pagbasa Project. And then during the implementation of the project, from 38 children, may isang bata na grade 5 na hindi marunong magbasa ng letra. So, yun yung napaka-alarming as part of the teacher kasi minsan sinisisi kami kung bakit ganyan yung bata. So, instead of taking it negatively, so maybe we could look for initiative kung saan pwede natin pagtulungan. So, from one community, nagkaroon na kami ng 3 community sa ngayon. So, yung project is tumatakbo siya for 5 months. 20 Saturdays ang kailangan kumpletuhin. At dahil yun sa mga dedikasyon at passion ng aming mga student volunteers. So, karamihan mga students yung mga nagtutulong. Because I want them to expose in the reality that ito yung problema na later on or someday mahaharap niyo siya. So from 16 volunteers, lumaki yung pamilya namin. Sa ngayon, 500 plus members na kami in the whole Negros Occidental. So, yun yung hugot kung bakit nandito ako sa ngayon. Dahil yun sa mga karanasang masasabi mong dissatisfaction, your greatest dissatisfactions in life, na instead you take it negatively, take it positively at gawan mo ng paraan kung paano matutulungan. So, yun yung story kasi si Hope Builders Organization, ang layunin talaga is makapagbigay rin ng pag-asa sa bawat kabataang Pilipino.
Thank you, Kenneth. Sobrang nakakatuwa rin na apart from just empowering teachers, you're also empowering a new set of teachers. Kahit hindi pa sila guro, that they are student volunteers, they're also now teaching other kids to read. So, nakakatawa. Thank you for your story, Kenneth. Ito, guys, biglang random. I know that may listahan ako ng question, tas parang ako, this group of 6 is very inspiring. I feel like I want to try to check how the future looks like for them. Or like, ano yung pangarap nyo for the next, I don't know how many years. Ito yung question ko. If you were to win or if you were to get 15 billion pesos, and that's equals to the PhilHealth issue na biglang, wow, 15 billion, ganon. If you were to get that access of 15 billion, how might you want to change the Philippines or your community? Oh, pang Hello, Miss Intercontinental, Miss Cindy Obenita. Please answer the question. Pero yes, if you were to get access to 15 billion peso funding, how might you want to use that for change? Kung may takers and volunteers, feel free to chika your way to an answer.
Ako
Okay,
na
I'm
siguro
giving you
mauna.
1 minute. Ay, sabihin ko,
Yan, oo.
I'm giving you 1 minute to think through your answer. Ayan, go Ham.
Okay, sa akin siguro, Trish, if bibigyan ako ng ganong kalaking halaga, no, I think I would invest that funding in research, no, because one of the problems kasi in particularly, no, in marginalized communities, marginalized identities such as the LGBTQ community is the lack of statistics and data, no. We live in a world where empirical data is very important, at minsan itong mga datos na ito yung nagiging basehan, no, kung ano yung karapatan na kailangan or para ma-push yung ating mga agenda, particularly on policy, on benefits, no, etc., on development efforts in general. And I think ako particularly, I would want to delve more on increasing the researches on LGBTs, no, in far-flung communities. Kasi isa sa mga kailangan siguro nating i-unlearn, no, as people or as individuals is that we are stigmatizing yung LGBTQ community na nakasentro lamang sa mga metropolitan cities. Pero hindi. Pinanganak ako sa Cagayan de Oro. Ang dami kong mga relatives, no, particularly in Agusan del Norte, in the province of Misamis Oriental, na mga LGBT rin. Pero hindi masyado silang pinag-uusapan yung kanilang mga issues kasi again, hindi napapakita, no? Hindi siya nami-mainstream. And I think if I would invest into something, I would invest in research. Ayun, maraming salamat, Trish.
Ang saya, 'di ba? Hindi research lang po 'yan. May nakukuha po tayong kwento at pinanghuhugutan para yung mga, 'di ba, yung pagtingin at pagtulong ay may kumbaga hindi siya lutang. Ewan ko kung gets niyo 'yun, na parang hindi lang siya, wala, may naisip lang akong project, ganyan, gagawin ko siya. Pero may panghuhugutan na kwento man 'yan, dinadanas man 'yan ng mga tao mismo sa mga komunidad. And totoo 'yun, parang even for my friends, na feeling namin ang hugot ng LGBTQIA ay parang, alam mo yun, problema lang yan ng mga nasa city. Parang kami dito sa probinsya, wala naman kami ganyang issue. Parang, huwag nyo nga kami isama sa mga ganyang usapin. But that's not true, right? And Ham and their group knows this well, and I know, not just in Mindanao, here in the Philippines, as much as we say that we are a loving country, sometimes we're quite harsh also. So thank you, Ham, for like driving that point, the importance on research, and getting to know based on facts. Hindi lang haka-haka, guys. Dapat credible sources. Even on project ideation and project planning. Oh, thank you, Ham. Ayan, may gusto bang sumagot sa ating 15 billion
And then,
grant fund? Sorry.
Okay.
pala nag-unmute na.
Alright, sige. Okay, sa akin, Chris, siguro kailangan kong bumalik doon sa kung yung unang nagpaaral sa akin. Ako kasi pinaaral ako ng isang pari, CICM School sa University of St. Louis. So, kami magkakapatid yan. So, pare. So, sabi namin, pagkatapos sabi mag-aral, when we go out to university, sabi namin, okay, tayo naman. So, kung mabibigyan ng pagkakataon na manalo ng ganyang kalaking pera, babalik ako doon. Kasi until now, marami pa rin silang tinutulungan na katulad ko na nangangarap. And that's the CICM School, the St. Louis. So, sabi ko, sige, bibigyan. E, naisip ko kanina, sige, why not go back and then give them also para at least marami din matulungan. And of course, part of the money, like for example, is invest mo siya doon sa IGP na ginagawa mo ngayon para mas lumaki at hindi masayang yung pera. Kasi ang pera, nawawala talaga yan. As in, isang iglap, pwedeng, nawawala siya ng bigla-bigla lang. So, i-invest ka siya sa IGP namin. And then, kasi maraming mga gustong nakikipag-partner. So, I think, kung may pera mang ganyan kalaki, support dyan para mas lumaki at mas marami pang mag-IC. And then lastly, gusto ko lang siyang ibahagi sa church namin kasi of course lumaki kami sa isang missionary school na nakita namin kung gaano yung itinuro nila sa amin na kagandahang asal at pagtulong. So I think napakagandang bumalik doon nang sa gayon ay mas marami pang blessing na dumating sa atin. That's it.
Thank you, JM. Si JM yung yung groupmate mong lagi nag-share. Nag-share siya ng 15 billion. So, shinare niya yung funding. So, okay. Dapat mas madami tayong makinabang. Thank you for that, JM. And nakatuwa kasi
Welcome.
parang paying it back to the first people who invested in you. So, thank you, JM. At shout out po sa mga unang tumulong kay JM sa ICM. Thank you po.
Hi, Saint Louis.
Kita naman po yung investment, may bunga na po. Thank you so much. Yan, sige, go Nicole.
Ayan, sige. To be honest, Trish, no, when you said 15 billion pesos, tapos bumalik ako kung saan kami nanggagaling as an organization, ICH, yung naisip ko talaga, my gosh, kulang ata yun. Because tuberculosis, for me, or I think for a lot of people, it's a systemic disease eh. It's not just bigyan mo ng gamot, okay na. Kasi nakakahawa siya. Tapos, yung thought na parang pag ginamot mo yung patient na to, or hindi mo siya nagamot ng maayos, binabalik mo siya sa community na parang yun din yung komunidad kung saan siya nagkasakit. So, to be honest, yun, 15 billion,
Yeah.
nakulangan ako. But to answer, no, KJ ko naman. But to answer, to be honest, I would invest it in more social enterprise clinics, not necessarily Kalinga Health, not necessarily us, but perhaps a different person implementing it just to scale up the model, bring it to other parts of the Philippines. Sobrang nakarelate daw kay Ham kanina na parang hindi napapansin minsan yung Mindanao. So to share, taga Mindanao kasi ako talaga. Di ba, South Cotabato ako. Kaya parang,
Wow!
Yeah, I'm from there. So parang, there's so much happening in Metro Manila, but hopefully we can bring this innovation elsewhere and give access to these services to even more Filipinos. So yun, bumabalik lang ako sa kami nang galing. It's really for the TB patients. And since galing siya sa DOH, na Mental Health Fund, dapat naman talaga ay mapunta siya sa kalusugan. Ayan lang po.
That's nice. Parang feeling ko, same rin kayo ni JM. Apart from you sharing that, medyo similar kayo with Ham. Pero with JM na, okay guys, share tayo, pwede tayo. Angat lahat. Hashtag angat lahat. O, nahiya naman po lahat ng corporate, no? Hashtag angat lahat, pero youth org version naman po tayo. So, thank you for that, Nicole. For our other three guests, may gusto bang Ayan, nakita ko nag-unmute si Sam. Go, Sam.
Yes. Ako naman, kung meron akong ganong kalaking pera, i-invest ko talaga sa kabataan. So, naniniwala talaga kasi ako sa kapangyarihan ng kabataan at tayo yung pruweba nun eh. Literal na tayo, as in tayo yung award-giving body at tayo, lahat na nandito, lahat ng panelists, lahat na nanonood, na kapag binigyan mo ng resources, ng capacity also, and at the same time, lahat ng finances na kailangan ng project, magagawa ng kabataan kung ano mas ikabubuti ng community, ng country, and potentially the world, diba? That's why the most powerful movements here that we have in this age right now are most likely youth-led. And we are proof of that. So, naniniwala talaga ako na yung 15 billion, magiging 150 billion yan, magiging 1.5 trillion, etc. pa, pag binigay mo sa kabataan. Kaya babalik ako dun sa paniniwala ng tayo at tayong lahat na parte dito, na kapag ininvest mo to sa future, talagang malayo ang mararating ng kahit anong ilagay mo dyan. So, yeah.
Thank you, Sam. Sobrang, I remember one moment, noon tayo 18, kasi nagkagulatan kami. For the past years that we are doing the search, ang biggest na namin is 400 plus, I think. That was Tayo 14, if I'm not mistaken. And then Tayo 18 came, and there were 856 entries last year. And then, nagkagulat talaga naman, 933 this year. And at first, we were thinking, kasi we weren't really expecting last year na madaming mag-apply. Because most of the projects that we saw previously were done by youth organizations in campus. So school orgs, fraternities, sororities, housed within the university. Tapos parang kami, hala baka lesser yung entries natin kasi walang pasok. Like, di sila nagkikita. We don't know if fundraising initiatives would want to join. We don't know. So we were really expecting a dip. But then, like what Sam mentioned, young people always look for opportunities to help others. And we weren't able to do this last year, but we were hoping to actually trace how much did youth organizations contribute during the pandemic. Mahirap siyang I feel like medyo mahirap gawin. Oh, hello, research. Manghihingi po kami ng pondo kay Ham. Pero gusto sana naming matrace. Pero, ang hirap lang rin matrace, syempre, nung in-kind donations. Tas, mayroong cash donations. But also, the manpower. Kasi, syempre, that has a cost also. How much really did youth organizations spent to actually lift communities? And that's something that is not tracked. Even, di ba, non-profits, we don't normally do that as much. Na, magkano ba ang ambag ng non-profit? Kadalasan kasi corporate kaya. Government, of course, kasi may bidding sila, etc. and all these tracers. But for non-profit, especially for youth organizations, we haven't done it yet. So parang feeling ko that could be a possible project for us. But yes, I echo what Sam mentioned, that this 15 billion could easily be 150 billion in the hands of young people. Feeling ko yung 15 billion na, shucks, ang daming project. Madami kaming naririnig na small initiatives. Ang target lang nila, bigyan nyo lang po kami ng 5,000, kaya na po namin magpakain. Tapos parang 5,000? Sigurado ba? Carry na ba yan? Ilang 5,000 ang meron sa 15 billion? Sorry, mahina ako sa math. So siya po ang graduate ko. Mga teacher, help me po. Ilan po 5,000 ang meron sa 15 billion? I feel like we could really feed communities. And yeah, thank you, Sam, for sharing that. That could easily be an investment for more youth organizations, for Nicole, di ba? Parang social enterprises, health social enterprises springing up. Nabusog na pala for tonight. Nag-give up. Okay na ako, guys. Good night na lang. But yes, our two, Kenneth, Gia, do you have the 15 billion dream also?
Yes.
Hello po. Yan, go Kenneth.
Sila.
Gia, you're our last sharer.
Okay. So, thank you so much pala sa 15 billion. Kami naman,
Sure,
sa akin, siguro, papatayo ko siya ng school. I mean, mas marami yung kabataang mabibigyan ng serbisyo if magpatayo ka ng school. Imagine sa section magkakaroon ng 5. Then, sections pa yan. So, may more or less hundreds or thousands of children ang pwede mong ma-change yung life, and then makakatulong pa sa pagbibigay pag-asa at saka padamihin yung 15 billion. No? As long as, yun nga, kasi naniniwala ako sa education na sinasabi natin, kailangan talaga natin i-change yung personal system ng bawat isa for them to change the system kung saan sila nandun. So, yun yan, yung school. Gusto kong magpatayo ng school. Thank you.
Thank you, Kenneth. Tunay talagang guro to si Kenneth, no? Parang Kenneth, di ba trabaho na naman yun pag nagpabuo ka ng school? Parang magtituro ka ulit nun. Mas madami ka pa ng naging estudyante. Talagang tunay na guro at heart.
Oo, Trish. Pwede din nating ilagay yung concept ng tayo, di ba? Sa school na yun.
Oh, talaga, guys, salamat po sa pag-partner. We really appreciate it. So, pirmahan na ba to ng kontrata? Antayin na lang natin yung 15 billion, no? Yun na lang yung abangan natin.
After
Thank
ng
you,
talks.
Kenneth.
Tapos partner natin silang lahat dito.
Oo. Mapagpasama talaga to si Kenneth. So, meron na tayong school sa May Visayas. Okay na. Tapos magkakaroon ng clinic, care of Nicole. Kaysa, meron tayong pitch funding activity. So, carry na yan. So, all orgs can join. Si Ham bahala sa research. Si JM, siya yung ano natin, corporate social responsibility. Siya yung mamimigay sa mga partners, etc. At yun, si Gia. Gia, what's our capstone project for our 15 billion dream?
Hello. Hello ulit po. Nung narinig ko yung pera ate, sobrang nakakalula. Kasi, coming from a very small organization na halos walang pondo din, sobrang hirap din tayong maghanap ng pera to work on. Ang dami nating pangarap, ang dami nating goals na gustong i-achieve, but with the limited resources that we have, sobrang hirap. But we're still trying, and we're doing our best talaga na makaprovide ng ano. And I think kung nasa amin yung pera na yon, siguro Ate Trish, provide more programs for persons with disabilities, of course, ang advocacy natin. And for learners with special educational needs, to provide a quality education. Yung kanina sa school naman po, sa atin, quality education talaga. Not just the structure, not just the materials na gagamitin natin when it comes to teaching, but ay siguro yung training sa teachers kung paano nila tanggapin yung mga anak namin with disabilities, sa training sa buong komunidad kung paano sila mas maging open sa mga kabataang kagaya nila. I think siguro yun yung pinaka-target natin with the money. And I think invest in good education and quality teacher. Yun yung ating pangarap for that money po. Yan lamang.
Thank you, Gia. Parang, yun na nga eh, di ba? Parang, wala pa tayong pera. We are able to do this. Like, we don't have that 15 billion budget. But look where we are now. We don't have like that type of limited but really, really deep type of funding. And yet, here we are trying to change one community at a time. And that may, for us in the office, we always feel like that may, sometimes we meet people who might think or even not people, even from our close friends, our parents sometimes, our close unit who would say na parang, why would you invest in young people? Parang ano ba yung project nila? Does that really make sense? Or like, late lang namin ang project niyan eh. Edi like, support bigger groups na lang. Support like, sali na lang kayo sa mga projects ni DepEd, DENR, and those are great. Go, invest your time also volunteering for those organizations, those institutions. Go lang. We support that. But for us in the office, we believe that even in the most littlest contribution, at the most simple contribution, it would make change. I guess to drive that point, I'll share one chika. Kasi currently at this point, parang wala pa akong 15 billion dream, to be honest. Feeling ko, if I would have 15 billion, it's just that, okay, fun pa natin. Parang feeling ko grant pool, ganyan. Guys, send in your entries. Let's do it. Ganun lang ako. Ako yung Kalad-Karen friend of my group of friends. I'm the Kalad-Karen friend. So feeling ko ganun din ako with my 15 billion. Kalad-Karen, kung, ay, ang ganda nung pitch ni Ham. Sige, bigyan niyo niya 2 billion. All of us in this call, 2 billion each. Yan, parang ganon. But to drive the point of how we put value in the most simplest project. I remember this one org from Siargao. This was Tayo 16. So, 3 years ago. Ang problema din nila, sila surfers. So, like, yay, chill life in Siargao. But, feeling ko makaka-relate dito si Kenneth, si Gia, at si JM. They noticed that there are a lot of kids who don't go to school. Kasi, addict mag-surf. Diba? Parang, girl, nakatira ka sa Siargao. Hello, island life. Ganyan. But, this organization, the small group of surfers in Siargao said like, ayaw namin na magaya tong mga batang to sa amin na hindi nakapagtapos mag-aral. And so, nakita nila na, kung interest nila ang pagsusurf, gamitin nga natin to na something. What they did was, they created a system na dapat si student pumapasok sa school for 5 straight days. Tapos, binibigyan nila ng attendance sheet si teacher na, teacher, pwede mo ba i-check kung yung batang to pumasok? Pag pumasok siya for 5 straight days, tsaka nila, itatrain nila yung bata to how to use the surfboard, papahiramin nila, etc. Like, may training involved. And so, these kids, okay, sige, papasok ako kasi mapapahiram ako ng surfboard ni kuya, etc. Super simple, guys. Nang papahiram lang sila ng surfboard. But, we see that value, we see that investment, and seeing that that's at little to no expense. All expenses that effortan lang nila magturo sa mga kids. Yun yung total investment. And so, I know it's quite a pipe dream to have 15 billion in a budget, but why we ask that, it's to hopefully sama-sama tayong mangarap in the future that we won't need that 15 billion to make that dream happen. Oh, girl, naging seryoso si Trisha for a while tonight. But yes, I hope that not so long in the future, we will still get that dream, even if we don't get that 15 billion dream or like 15 billion funding from wherever. Okay, guys, sama-sama tayong i-manifest yon na yung, kung ano yung mga, isi-save ko tong video na to, tapos I will manifest with you guys sa mga dreams natin for the next 5 to 7 years. Ayoko mag 10 years. Feeling ko masyadong mahaba yon. So, 5 to 7 years. Okay. So, for our last question for tonight, I'll try to dial down. As youth leaders and as your organizations, I know that you've been stressing a lot. Especially now that in the pandemic, we cannot easily rest as an organization. Alam mo yung parang, okay guys, movie night muna tayo or like kain tayo sa labas. What would be your tip for youth leaders who might be nearing burnout? Like we were talking dreams, we were talking big plans. Those are great. But of course, we cannot make it if our people are just too tired to make that dream happen. And so, tonight, let's just dial down with some volunteer and community care. What would be your tip or suggestion for youth leaders just like you who might be nearing burnout, who might be feeling that their inspiration fuel is running low, na parang, ayoko na to. Napapagod na ako. I guess let's end tonight with that question. If any one of you would want to share their tips and their message to their fellow youth leaders, please go unmute lang.
Ayun, maybe I can
Hello
start.
po.
Ay, sige. Go ahead, Teacher Gia. Okay lang.
Go, Gia.
Hello. Sige, una na ako ngayon, nahuli ako kanina. Sige, unahan natin po. I think being this pandemic po, sobrang burnout ang lahat. Hindi lang tayo in other organization, lahat talaga burnout. And parang, ang hirap din hanapin kung paano tayo ulit mag-step forward. And our project po kasi started before pandemic. And dumating yung pandemic, sobrang nagulo lahat. Yung plans namin, yung original plans namin, nasira. And we were at that point na tinanong talaga namin kung paano namin sisimulan ulit. Kasi andun yung pangarap nasira lang kasi dumating yung pandemic. But nagkamali kami, hindi pala siya nasira. Mas naging mas naging way siya para sa isang mas malaking dreams namin para sa mga anak namin. And siguro yung naging way lang namin to cope up with the burnout, with the yung feeling lost na pakiramdam, siguro is to really pause for a while. We need the pause. Lahat tayo kailangan talagang huminga kahit papaano. Huminga from the stress, huminga from the pressure, and huminga from sa lahat ng negativity na dinadala sa atin ng mundo. I think siguro yung naging effective way din sa amin is to breathe on our own. Isipin muna natin yung sarili natin kasi kapag naubos tayo, wala na tayong may bibigay sa iba. So, punuin muna natin yung sarili natin with the energy, with the enthusiasm na kailangan natin to move forward. And after siguro ng pahinga, let's consider din na ipagpahinga din yung ibang mga tao sa paligid natin. Hindi yung parang we pressure them with the activities na gagawin natin in our project. Siguro pag nakapahinga ka, pahinga mo rin sila. Let's have the relaxation. Let's reward ourselves once in a while with kung ano man yung success ng every step ng milestone ng project natin. Let's celebrate it. And after that siguro from there we can move forward slowly but surely. Siguro yung magandang naging step ng team namin when it comes to burnout is siguro talaga bigyan ng chance yung sarili natin na makahinga. And from there, we can surely move forward talaga. Yun lamang po.
Thank you, Gia. Before I pass the mic to Sam, i-apply agad natin yung natutunan natin kay Gia. Take a breath. So, please follow for all of us in the call, let's just take two breaths. So, inhale, exhale. Yan. At least may konting breathing exercise. Thank you, Gia, for that reminder. Sam, please.
Yes, sobrang agree ako dun sa sinabi ni Teacher Gia, no, na napaka-importante ng pagpapahinga. Kasi sabi nga nila, di ba, you can't pour from an empty cup. So, dapat i-replenish natin yung sarili natin para may maibalik tayo sa mga taong nakapaligid sa atin at sa kapwa natin. Pero just to add to that siguro, no, I have 3 tips lang as in terms of tackling burnout. So, number 1 is to celebrate your wins, even the smallest ones. And I say this because in our path of advancing our advocacies, I think we are always attracted to our vision, di ba? Kung ano ba yung grand purpose or like what is the bigger goal that we are trying to achieve, that we forget to celebrate our milestones, that everything na nagko-contribute to that. So I think if we do that, mabuboost yung moral ng lahat ng members or lahat ng volunteers that are a part of your project at makikita nila na nag-a-add pala ng value yung mga ginagawa nila, yung mga pubmats, yung pag-create ng content, yung paggawa ng workshop, etc. Second, it's very important that you surround yourself with a good support system, whether that be within the organization or your family, your friends, etc. Diba? Find your tribe, kumbaga. Kung sino talaga yung magbibigay sa'yo ng lakas dahil advocacy work is not easily. Especially, marami tayo may kanya-kanya ding buhay. May mga estudyante, may mga nagtatrabaho, merong full-time na ginagawa ito. Pero in our journeys, we have to be supported with people who really understand where we are coming from and can really empathize with our situations. And lastly, don't be afraid to be vulnerable. I think yung mga advocates, we are sort of in that pedestal. We put ourselves in a pedestal na kailangan I have to appear, strong all the time, and I have to appear as somebody who's put together talaga. Hindi naman, I guess it's normal naman kumbaga na may mga struggles din tayo, hindi tayong laging okay. Sabi nga nila, diba, it's okay not to be okay. So okay lang yan, ilabas mo yan dahil lahat to normal natin pinagdadaanan. Sa Project Smile kami, nagme-mental health break kami kasi nakikita namin na yung mga members and volunteers din na sila, like, maybe not as active, tas marami rin kami mga movie nights, meron kami mga check-in calls, etc. Just to reinforce the culture and the relationship that we have with the members and volunteers. So I hope those tips can help you guys address yung burnout dahil it's very much real and it's very much felt by a lot of Filipinos, and not just Filipinos actually, but people across the world.
Thank you, Sam. Again, same with what we did with Gia for nag-breathing exercise tayo. For Sam, please, for the rest of your night, please take a pause and send a thank you to your core group who you know supports you and is your support, kumbaga, it's your A-team na parang, guys, pagod na ako, pwede bang iiyak lang ako sa inyo? Guys, please send your thank yous and your reminders also that you are also a safe space for them. Kahit na wag ngayon, but please take the time for tonight to just reconnect with your A-team. Say thank you and then also open space for them to rant, to whatever, to release, or to have fun with you. All right. Thank you, Sam, for those 3 reminders. Anyone from our finalists? I see Nicole unmuting. Go,
Yeah.
Nicole.
Oh, thank you. So actually, I agree with Gia and Sam. No, hindi naman siguro nalalayo yung sagot ko. But I guess first, and I mean, it guess it applies to everyone. Hindi lang necessarily na kailangan ka mag-leader ka, kailangan sa position ka. I think this applies to everyone. Na parang first is really, you get to know yourself, know what makes you happy, know what motivates you, also know the signs of burnout. Kasi iba-iba yung signs of burnout sa iba't ibang tao. Yung iba, baka insomnia lang yung manifestation. Yung iba, baka walang ganang kumain or anything. It's different for every person. So first talaga is know yourself. And if you can lead yourself, that's when you can lead others, actually. And of course, when you know you're near burnout, just like what they mentioned na, take care of yourself, be open, be vulnerable, tell your teammates, I'm not feeling so well this past week, can I take a break? Kaya bang saluhan, ganyan. And of course, after taking care of yourself, just make sure that you're also in a supportive environment. Well, surround yourself with like-minded people, especially if you're in the same project, in the same organization. We always say this sa ICH, na culture is important. If the people in the organization, same yung way na pag-iisip, same yung advocacy, same yung pagmamahal sa mga tao, not just people with TB, but even yung mga workmates nila, I feel that that would create, an environment na we're just supporting each other and making sure that everyone thrives. Hindi lang yung pang sarili, syempre. And whatever you do as an organization, as an individual, it of course affects other people as well. And yung pinaka-importante dyan ay kung komunidad na sinusuportahan din niyo or sinaserve ninyo. Yun lang.
Thank you, Nicole. Okay, guys, ang dami ko ng pa-workshop. So, nag-breathing exercise tayo. We did the text. And tonight, I hope what we'll take home from Nicole is that let's take a pause also and look at our warning signs. Try to, like, if you could write it on paper, tapos post nyo sa may laptop nyo or sa wall nyo na, okay, warning, ganon, or like, get reminded if you feel this, you're really nearing burnout. That way, we could also make ourselves accountable of our health. And also, if you could share that to your friend, yung ito-text mo mamaya dun sa activity natin. If you could send a copy to that so that they could also be your accountability partner in keeping all of us healthier mentally and also being more productive and more, I guess, kumbaga, productive and meaningful work all across advocacy work or professional work. Thank you, Nicole. To our 3 bachelor and bachelorette.
Ayan,
Yan,
si Trish ka na.
si JM. Go,
Alright,
JM.
sige. Siguro napakaganda ng sharing ng tatlo. Ang sarap makinig eh. Sa akin naman, always be honest. Magpakatotoo ka. Like for example, kung naiiyak ka na, iyak ka lang, hindi na makabawas sa pagkalalaki. Yung pag-iyak or whatsoever. Basta iyak ka lang. Like for example, may sa organization ninyo, may hindi okay na nangyari, and then na-pressure kayo lahat at alam niyo, gusto niyo ng so mag-usap, be honest sa feelings, sa nararamdaman, and then we try to work it out. Okay? And the second, para sa akin, kasi of course, nararanasan ko din yan. Hindi ako excuse dyan sa burnout na yan. So I have this one with me now. I have the to-do list with me. Basically, wow, grabe. As in talaga nilalagay ko dito lahat kasi para at least maiwasan yung burnout eh. So I think very good to. Hindi lang siya yung sa Google na parang binibigay sa atin na tayo. Pero sa akin, very simple lang siya. Ito lang. And then, yan, first, second, nakikita ko ano talaga. Para at least, after ko mag-inhale, exhale, then napaka deep. Sabi ko, okay, next. So, kinocrush ko siya and then, okay, he was burnout. Okay. Next is, I do exercise. Okay? I do exercise kahit nasa after office na and then after schooling, I sit at na may 30 minutes exercise. Kasi sabi nila, physical health is as good as taking good care of our mental health and emotional health. And then of course, always din, katulad kanina nagsabi ni ma'am, kapag may malapit na mountain sa inyo, you go and then mag-inhale, exhale kayo dyan. And then, nangyari din sa amin sa group, nagkakaroon kami ng parang coffee together, milk tea together. And then, ang sarap na parang, uy, ano, kumusta ka na ngayon? And then parang nawawala eh. And then bumabalik ulit yung sigla mo bilang isang tao. And of course, pinakalas is dalawa. Una ay yung natutunan ko lang, nung ako na yung medyo nahihirapan din, umiyak ako sa nanay ko, sa tatay ko. Bumalik, pam, ganito, ganyan, sabi ko. So yung pagiging honest ka sa kanila, bumalik din yung pagiging loving ko. Na parang, yung iba sa atin nahihiya, nagawin sa magulang. Ako, ang sarap pala at nakakawala talaga yun ng burnout, ng emotional stress whatsoever. And last one is to pray. Napakahalaga yun, sobrang. Hindi lang siya yung pag-meditate, yung pag-pray mo talaga, yung prayer mo talaga napaka-deep talaga galing sa puso mo. Ang sarap kasi after mo nakapikit, tapos ang okay na. So, yun lang yung mga tips ko and I hope guys na sana ay magkaroon ka ganito no, to do this din for at least iwasan yung burnout sa inyo. Napakaganda kasi para sa akin, parang best practice ko yun. Thank you, Trish.
Thank you, Mauro. Parang, ang ano ko doon, wow, may summary talaga. Ang summary ko talaga is, release is really important. And that goes for everyone. I know that there's stigma around males to keep it together. Like, bawal ka umiyak, etc. But emotional release is really important for all of us. If you're feeling frustrated, if you feel like, so heartbroken, naghugot pala. Like, that release is very important also for us. May that be towards your parents, like, mag-open up ka to your parents or to your guardians or to people you recognize you are safe with. Sometimes it's not necessarily those who are really closest to us in vicinity, but those who are really close to us by, I guess, intentional relationship building. So please, feeling ko lahat ata sa apat ng nauna, very intentional yung having the right people with you. Guys, hindi nga tayo kami, 'di ba? Like tayo. So you have to have key people with you to both win and to also struggle with. So thank you guys. Kenneth, Ham, if paunahan mag-unmute to the person who wants to share first.
Bato-bato kami ni Kenneth. Charot. Ayan.
Oh. Yeah.
Sino ba talaga Kenneth?
Go,
Charot lang.
Ham.
Anyway, so ako na. Ayun, agree ako sa lahat no ng mga shinare nila. Particularly siguro kung in my future self, no? Future self kasi hindi kasi ako nag-exercise right now, no? Pero I guess nakikita ko kasi sa ibang tao, no, yung importance ng pag-take care ng physical health mo. Yung maglakad-lakad ka lang sa loob ng bahay mo, 'di ba? Or pwede ka rin maglakad sa mga open spaces, 'yon. Isa rin sa mga na-realize ko, no, at natutunan ko rin in the past, yung importance rin ng meditation. Gusto ko lang i-reinforce yung sinabi ni Mauro kanina. Currently kasi I'm nag-aaral ako at may subject ako on alternative feminist counseling. At yung meditation, parang may mga activities kami, no, na parang nakatulong siya sa akin as a breather. Kung nanonood rin kayo ng mga, ayokong i-promote yung particular platform na yon, pero merong particular show na parang it makes you parang calm, no? Pwede rin kayo makinig ng mga sounds na calming, katulad ng mga yung sound ng ulan, ganun, or ng forest, ganun. That's very calming to me. Pero para sa akin, aside from yung mga na-mention kanina at yung mga sinabi ko rin right now, mga ni-reinforce ko. I guess yung nami-miss out siguro natin is kapag hindi na talaga kaya, yung sobrang bigat na ng mundo that we cannot function anymore, that we cannot move forward, that we don't see the parang the light at the end of the tunnel. I guess it's very important for us to seek help. Never be afraid to seek professional help and treatment. Kasi baka umaabot na talaga tayo sa point na hindi na talaga natin kaya na yung makipag-usap lang sa friends kasi baka nahihiya na rin tayo or parang naka-cover na rin tayo ng stigma no in mental health
True.
illness. Oo. So I guess important siguro right now. I know this is coming from a privileged perspective kasi maraming tao ang walang access to mental health services. Pero meron na kasing currently ngayon na mga accessible na mga mental health services such as yung Lunas Collective. Currently may bayanihan e-konsulta rin na pwedeng na tinatanggap rin yung mga mental health concerns no. So yan, parang sa akin kasi I know na merong mga parang mga balakid for us to seek professional help kapag hindi na talaga natin kinakaya ang bigat ng mundo. But always remember rin that your mental health concern, your mental health issue will not make you a weak person or will not define you as an individual. Yun lamang, Trish, maraming salamat.
Thank you, Ham. Nakakatuwa na apart from your disclaimer na it's something it's quite a privileged perspective also to seek professional help, kumbaga. But there is quite a stigma in going to your asking for like a psychiatrist or a psychologist or even a counselor. Hindi pa nga at that level, 'di ba? Like to even go to a counselor to talk about your feelings. Sometimes parang may ganong type of judgment. So thank you for reminding us that it's okay. It's okay to seek help if you feel like literally the end of the tunnel is nowhere to be found. I hope that if hindi nyo kaya personally, try to look for a person to advocate for you, to fight for you na okay. I'll help you look for help. Ako bahala. Like, Ham, ako bahala sa'yo. You're at that point. Sige, ako bahala sa'yo. I look for help for you. So, thank you for that, Ham, for that reminder. And lastly, of course, Kenneth.
Okay, parang nasabi na rin lahat. So, yung sa akin naman, yung way siguro, gaya sabi ni Nicole, iba-iba tayo ng ways how to cope up those burnout. Yung sa akin kasi meron akong mga tanim. So, isa yun sa way ko para mawala yung stress, mawala yung bigat, is magtanim na magtanim. Meron ding mga hayop, aso, di ba? Yun yung mga bagay na sabi natin, hindi part ng ating, to develop ourselves from burnout. Pero, yung maliit na bagay na yun is malaking bagay para sa iba. And then yung kape, di ba? Isa siguro sa mga mahiling magkape, kung masaya sila, kung malungkot sila, kape. Pero yung magiging tips ko para sa mga hope builders namin or sa mga youth leaders dyan, yung bagay na minsan lang natin na-experience is yung appreciation. Siguro we have to give self-appreciation din. Kahit sa gaano kaliit man yan, kung hindi man kayang ibigay ng iba, ibigay mo sa sarili mo. Yun. Tsaka pangalawa is yung support system. Napakahirap sa isang NGO, sa mga community leaders to look for the support. And ngayong may pandemya, yun yung kailangan natin. So sino-sino pa ba magtutulungan kung di tayo man lang. At pangatlo, yun yung sinasabi natin lagi, yung padayon. Padayon, kahit ano man. And then yung last is yung pahuway or pahinga. So, yun yung mga na-stress out na kanina ng mga ways. So, yun lang. Siguro yung appreciation sa sarili.
Thank you, Kenneth, and thank you everyone for sharing na kanya-kanya tayong timpla. Kanya-kanya tayo ng, kumbaga, hindi lang ng timpla kung how to rest and how to take a pause. But also, kanya-kanya rin tayo ng timeline, kanya-kanya tayo ng season on where we are at that. Baka yung iba, kailangan lang ng konting tulog. Kailangan lang na, isang movie marathon, isang okay, no work weekend, etc. But there are also others who might be quite far at that spectrum of burnout. And wherever we are at that spectrum, we hope that you always look for that one glimmer of aahon din ako. I hope na if you, I'm trying to ground, kumbaga, that all of us would want to have people on our side. But if you're also someone who might not be there yet, I hope i-take away nyo rin yung sinabi ni Kenneth. Kung hindi siya ibibigay ng iba sa inyo, kunin nyo na yung opportunity na, congratulations self, it's been another great week. Hindi ko man na-accomplish lahat ng work tasks ko, but I got through the week alive, well, kumain ako ng ilang beses sa isang araw. I was able to do work, have been diligent in my commitments. I hope you take that opportunity to celebrate your wins as well, and hopefully grow your own community of allies, of partners, of, kumbaga, kapuso, kapamilya, kaibigan, kapatid. Lahat na pala na station. But really, just being, kumbaga, I see one in the comments, just a bearer of light, especially even in your own life, na you don't necessarily, yes, we see hope in other things, but hopefully, mahanap niyo rin yung glimmer of hope deep inside you. That way, at that moment when everything feels dark, you'll always have that grounding moment in meditation, in nature, amongst friends, taking a rest, taking a pause, taking a breath. So thank you, everyone, for sharing tonight with us. I know we've talked about mornings, para kanino ka umaahon, to futures of 15 billion dreams, to now also taking a pause from where we are now, and hopefully learn better and build better para naman in the future, when all things settle down, when all things are better, we could all celebrate together. Thank you for our 6 national finalists. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for sharing your story. I'm really excited to know more of you, even if it's a virtual celebration of your stories. Thank you. Ito pala, as practice on what we learned, guys, I want to congratulate you. Thank you. Congratulations to us for hosting this Tayo Talks, even if it's virtual. Congratulations to you guys individually. You were able to do amazing work in work or in advoc, in parang wala naman ata estudyante sa atin. So, congrats, guys. Thank you again for joining us. And please celebrate your weekend together with friends and family. And to the rest of our community watching us tonight, and to the rest who might be joining asynchronously once this video uploads, thank you for joining us this evening. I hope that you still watch out and learn more of our 6 other national finalists next week as our last Tayo Talks to meet the national finalists for Tayo 19 as they vie for the trophy this December. Again, thank you everyone and good evening.
Gisingin na ang diwa, salubungin ang umaga. Handa ka na ba? Masdan mo ang daluyong, umaagos ang pagtulong sa kapwa. May sinag sa iyong puso na hindi na maitatago. Ang silong mo'y lisanin na mo'y sisigla kung tayo'y magsasama-sama sa lupa nating naghihingalo. Tayo ang pagbabago, sabay nating suyuin, mailap na pagkakaisa sa pagsikat ng bagong araw. Buong pusong isigaw na tayo ang pagbabago. Oh, 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 tayo. Oh, 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 layunin natin iisa, itaguyod ang bandila, yakapin ang pagkakaiba. Liwanag mo'y sisigla kung tayo'y magsasama-sama sa lupa nating naghihingalo. Tayo ang pagbabago, sabay nating suyuin, mainap na pagkakaisa sa pagsikat ng bagong araw. Buong pusong isigaw na tayo ang pagbabago, sabay nating suyuin, mainap na pagkakaisa sa pagsikat ng bagong araw. Buong pusong isigaw na tayo ang pagbabago. Tayo ang pagbabago.
Filipino youth, are you ready? Learn, upskill, and build better this 2021 with Padayon, Tayo and YSEALI Youth Organizational Development Program. In the mission for Filipino youth development, the 10 Accomplished Youth Organizations Awards Foundation and the U.S. Embassy in the Philippines bring you a series of capacity-building activities to improve organizational leadership skills of youth groups from across the country through 4 pillars of engagement. These are Tayo Talks, workshops, mentorship sessions, and the exclusive Padayon Masterclass. Learn from domain experts, hear from thought leaders, and interact with fellow young advocates through gamified and unconference experiences. Padayon Tayo.